video, I'm going to talk to you about lofts. First cap off the rank, create a new component. Now a loft, the idea is that we want to create a solid body from two closed contours. So to begin, what I'm going to do is create a sketch on my top plane. I'm going to do something simple and just create a rectangle. I'll finish my sketch. Now, I need to create another closed contour sketch which is parallel to this sketch. Currently, I don't have a plane or an object or a body that I can create that sketch on. So, what I need to do is construct one. To do that, I go to Construct, Offset Plane. I'm going to select the plane that I want to offset. I'm going to draw it up. I have now created, inside that component, a construction plane right here. So now I can create another sketch using the plane that I just constructed, which will then allow me to place more drawing geometry within my 3D space, but not utilizing the three planes that I'm given out of the box. So now that I have my two drawings, what I can do is come down and select Loft. Loft is going to look for my profiles. I click on my first profile, click on my second profile, and you can see that I've created a solid body which is being lofted between these two shapes that I drafted. Note that I started with a rectangle and it's becoming a circle, and so we can see the lines or the contours of that shape. So that's the first kind of loft, is essentially drawing from one type of shape to another type of shape. Now there's another kind of loft that I want to show you, which is a little bit trickier, but is also very, very useful. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sketch, and this time I'll put it on the top plane again. Let's put it out here a little bit. To make things a little bit easier, I'm just going to draw a construction line out there and make it for construction, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle. So now I have another sketch, and I'm just going to make a note here that we're starting to build on that timeline. You can see that we've got a few sketches and a few features starting to develop. I'm now going to come back and create another sketch. And this time, I'm going to create it on the front plane. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to create that line off the origin. I'm going to make it a construction line. I'm going to draw another rectangle. I'm just using that construction line just to make sure that I've got my reference geometry all running off that origin. Going to become evident why in a second. Finish that sketch. So now you can see I've got two separate sketches on two separate planes. Okay? Now, if I create a loft between these two, it's still possible. Not like that though. If we select a point, the operation tends to fall over. What we need to do is come back and select the whole profile. So we can see that we've got ourselves a loft, and it's essentially projecting through. This is a pretty ugly piece of 3D construction, okay? And it's unlikely this is ever going to be very useful for what we're trying to do. So I'm just going to cancel that, and now I'm going to create another sketch. This time, I'm going to create the sketch on the right plane. Now when I create this sketch, I'm going to come down and I'm going to do a 3-point arc. And I'm going to pick up some points and create my arc. Before I exit the sketch though, I want to have a little bit of a look. Now, I've got my rectangle here, and I've got this point, and I'm going to go coincident. Because that line and this line are on planes that are going to intersect, and I've drafted it in such a way, that coincident lets those 2 points fix to each other within our three-dimensional workspace. And I'm going to do the same for this. I'm now going to finish my sketch. What I've ended up with is 2 closed profiles joined by essentially a 1-line path. Come back to Lofts and grab my first profile, my second profile. I get the loft I had earlier. This time I switch to centerline, I grab my pathway, and now you can see I'm lofting along that guide curve that I created in my third sketch. And this is really, really useful because it enables us to loft 2 profiles, which can generally be whatever shape we desire, but we can guide them along the pathway that they loft, which enables us to do some pretty interesting things.